if you don't do it, you lose it. Didn't have the budget to even get someone in to fit out the whole restaurant. I didn't know what to expect in the first day. All I know is you're already here, you're already in it, so you have to do it no matter what. Rajeev Chakradhar. I'm from Nepal. Been living in Australia for about roughly 14 years now. So came here in 2012 as a student, and then just followed my journey throughout here. Studied, worked as well while studying, and then finally got the idea to like idea to have something of my own. So something unique and something different that no one's done it. So, and just wanted to have something of my culture, represent my culture. So that's when I came up with the idea of having Labros, and even the name actually was a sudden surprise, Labros is basically, it's a meaning of, hey brother. So it's just a casual conversation rather than any word. So that's how I came up to start Labros in 2023. Just the usual playing with kids. Of course, when I was growing up, there was no iPads or anything, and TV. We had big box TVs back in the when I was growing up. So it was just socializing and going out with friends, and just having just a normal lifestyle when I was growing up. We do have our own family business back home, so we do sell a lot of Indian sweets or Newari sweets, and a lot of different Nepalese snacks. I wanted to actually be either sportsman or a musician. So you sort of don't end up doing that because in society as well. So there's not a big scope back home. So if you're playing sports or if you're playing music, you always get a question how much you gonna earn. So that's not even, actually, to be honest, my teachers even told me about the same thing. Choose better career option than that's not even a career. Yeah, I think still today it's the same. So that was when I was growing up. The best thing is either work in office or be a doctor, the engineer, or pilot. I just wanted to go out and experience something different, and just wanted to be independent. So how it is back home, you are there but you're not really independent because you've got your parents, you've got whole circle behind you. So you're living with your parents, and then you sort of get used to it, and then you sort of become really comfortable, and then probably come out was the biggest decision, just to be independent for myself, and then so I can learn to do things by myself, and even earning money, starting from zero. So even working in a restaurant starting from zero. So I just wanted to have that experience for myself. Culturally, yes. So culturally, because the language is English, of course, I spoke English back home, in our school, but here understanding the accent was a lot harder. But working wise, I did have my mind prepared, what's gonna happen. So I never thought, I know I'll be studying, but I knew I'll be working. So I knew there isn't a certain job that I'll be working. So I didn't think that I could have a lot to choose from when I come here, because at the end you just need to make your ends meet. So I was mentally prepared from back home. So you have to do this. So nothing is small. My dad even told me go to Australia after finishing the bachelor's, but I just insisted on just finish my 12th, and then I'll just go. The earlier I go, the better I can get adjusted rather than later. So I think that's so far been the best decision. I moved to Hobart first, so Tasmania. It was very small Nepali community back in 2012, so there weren't many Nepalese there. So very small community. The population wasn't much in Hobart anyway, but out of that, the Nepalese were very small. Now you can see a lot of Nepalese Hobart especially. So a lot of the Nepalese moving from interstate to Hobart as well. So a bit of influx. Melbourne, there are a few Nepalese community here. So not specifically in one place, but they're scattered around in different areas. So usually if you go around northern suburbs like Coburg or Glenroy, you can find a lot of Nepalese around that side living. So either families and students, you can find a lot around that side. Before I started this, I was actually working as a chef in a restaurant. So that was also back in Hobart. So I was working in a place called the Ball and Chain Grill and Pepina. So that's part of the luxury collection by Marriott. So worked there and then moved to Melbourne after that. The main motivation was I wanted to do something in my with my own cuisine, and then I just wanted to uplift it for everyone to see. So basically, Nepalese I saw was very underrated. So and then I saw like so many different cuisines, like they were actually uh, going up, and they were doing something different. So for example, like in Thai, Filipino, and all those cuisines, like they're sort of doing something different, and then they're actually getting renowned more and more. But Nepalese, it's still underrated and not a lot of people knew. Even until today, I don't think a lot of people know about what Nepalese food is. The story behind Labros is it was just an accident. I wouldn't say accidental, but it's actually just that came up all of a sudden that I need to have this name. I was searching for a name for the establishment that I wanted to have, like a modern Nepalese, and I didn't want a name that is very authentic as well. I wanted something a bit more unauthentic name. So we were talking to my friends one day, and all we were talking was love. And on the phone as well, we were going like, "La bro, okay, la haita." We say, "La haita, la bro, la haita." So that was the conversation, and we always like kept on saying that without. And then one day I just realized, la bro, that might sound good to what I'm doing. It's much more casual as well. So it's casual saying, and then it just meaning you're having fun. So you're just talking with anyone, you're just having a good time. So whenever you're having a good time, we just like go, la bro, okay, we'll meet again. So that is the story behind La Bros. Scary to start off with because you're on your own without realizing how it's going to be, and then starting something new in between all the big guys or all the guys who's been here for years and years. And then it's sort of a scary thing to start. And then I didn't know what to expect in the first day. So all I know is you're already here, you're already in it. So you have to do it no matter what. Just wake up, come and do it. And if you won't know until you start it, basically. So that's what got me start the first day. And a bit nervous. I'm nervous every day because every day is different for me. And then you wake up, you think it's gonna be something the next day, and then next day you wake up and come to work, it's different. So for me, out of these 15 months, no day has been the same. For me, the restaurant is about giving the customers the food and the Nepalese experience. So that comes with greeting the customers when they walk in the door. So that's the first thing I want to do. Sitting them down in a glass of water and then make everyone comfortable as soon as they sit in. So I don't want anyone who comes in and then start to think, start moving and not knowing what to do. So first is making anyone comfortable when they sit down. So when the customer walks in, first thing we do is greet the customers. They come in, they sit down, and we ask them how was the day, and I feel personally as a customer myself, I always put myself in a customer's perspective, even if it's food or service. So like you feel good to be asked how was the day. Some people are having a hard day, and then They'd love to be asked how was the day, and then I can offer you a drink, something to relax, make you relax a bit, you know. And some people are coming from a whole day of work, and then they just want to sit down and just have a meal and then just not think about work anymore. So we do have a lot of them doing that. So we just make them feel comfortable, and then while they're having the meal, we just have a quick chat, and then how's everything, and then I just try to have a casual conversation while the customer's there, and then after everything is finished, just ask them how is it, and then always I make them feel like you're always welcome back here. So anything there is, so you're always welcome here. So either you need to book or you don't need to book. So the door is always open for you. It's always the small things. Anyone who walks in can see the big things in front of you. But if you think of, if you go to a place and then they ask you how it is, and then you're being looked after, so no matter how bad your day is, it's always going to be, that's always going to be a good experience, because how you've been treated. And everybody deserves to be treated in a good wherever they go. So yeah, that's what we create that in this restaurant. And from me to the kitchen staff to the front of house staff, so everyone knows what they need to do. And then I think that's the biggest thing I wanted to incorporate when I opened this restaurant, was food and customer service. Because I started from scratch, so to be honest, I didn't have a lot of idea on how I wanted things. So in my mind, I just knew I wanted a simple, minimalistic place. So the hardest issue was put the things together, and I didn't want it to get all the things and then put it in place, and then later on deciding I don't like it. So I started with very small, like actually literally very small. So if you came to me a year ago when I opened, I wouldn't have even a lot of those frames. So I would just have, a couple of frames here and there, a couple of decors here and there. So, and as the months grew, so you sort of realize that I need that, I need that. So, and that was the huge challenge, finding out what you want, because I didn't have, to be honest, didn't have the budget to even get someone in to fit out the whole restaurant. So because you're starting out on your own, like with what you have, and then you put yourself in. So I'm constantly working myself, painting and fixing up the frames, or even like putting some woodworks in. As a entrepreneur, you need to know everything. So that's very important. And you are leading the restaurant. So if you don't know, I wouldn't expect the others to know as well. So first thing first is like you need to know everything what's on the business from scratch, from the floors until a small tiny button to everything, to all the plugs probably. That is the hardest bit, is you can't always get the team that you have in mind, because that's practically impossible. So the only thing I could do is train them to see my vision. So if I wanted a staff where they could give the customers the same experience that I would give to the customers, so it wouldn't change. So if I'm working today myself, so if I give the same customer experience, and if the same customer comes a week later, I'm not there, but another staff is there, I want them to give the same experience, and the food needs to go out the same as when I was here or when I'm not here. So for me, that's a consistency, and that's always been in my mind, and that's always been the backbone of my business. That's the consistency. No matter what time of the day, month you come here, you get the same experience. You come a month later or you come next year. So, and having that sort of mentality on the staff, that's the hardest thing, and then it doesn't come just overnight. So I have to hire them, and then I'm actually lucky. I have good staff with me, and then they were on board with me, like in my mentality of what I wanted. So although things started very slow for us, and then took a little time to get adjusted for everyone, but finally by today, everyone is on the same board as I am in terms of how I want the restaurant to run, and it just now like everyone is comfortable, so we can just look at each other, and then we can go like, yeah, I might need to go and help there. So we just need to look at each other, and then we just know like what's going around, and if there's someone busy at the front and there's a customer waiting, I just look from my kitchen outside, and then I just like automatically go. And then I think that's very important, like everyone needs to share the same vision as what I am. I've never been a person to sit down and then give orders to anyone, because that's just not my thing. So I'm always up for motivating people to do something or show them how to do it, because if I don't show them, then I don't think anyone will show them. No matter how much experienced staff come in, they might have like 10, 20 years of experience, but without the right guidance, even with that many years of experience, they come to a new place, they're lost. So I prefer myself being there, showing them how to do things, because every place things are done different. So in my whole experience working in the hospitality industry, even working, no matter how much experience you've got, any other places works differently, and it's operated differently. So over here, I prefer teaching or showing them. I don't like telling them you do that, because of course everyone's experienced, and I'm just there to guide them to do what we do here, and then that's something different that you're doing, and then something different that you're providing to the customers. I'm up to that because my dad is the same as well. A lot of things I still am learning from my father. I still call him and then say like this, and they're supportive enough, and then they say like you need to be there, you need to show your employees or you need to show your staff how you do it. If you don't do it, then you don't expect your staff to do it as well. I think growing up, I would say my grandfather and my father. So my grandfather, he started from scratch, and then he built a name for himself, so doing a lot. And then I admire the fact that he started as a struggle. He struggled and then started, and then like worked hard throughout his career and built something for our whole family. And then same, my father and my uncle, like they follow the footsteps of my grandfather. So in terms of that, like they are the role models. And then I still have a lot of stories that I even tell my parents about, how my grandfather did it. And then that just sort of motivates me to do better every day. So, he did something, like he started from zero or scratch, built something. So that just makes me want to do better every day. Like that's just a motivation that comes in. Taking a personal example, if you don't do it, you lose it. So it's scary when you think about it. It's scary the first day, and when you think about it, you want to do that. You don't know how to start. But my thought is, if you haven't even started, then what's the point of thinking? You need to at least start the first step. So no matter what, you want to do, if you don't take the first step, I don't think you can start anything, because that's how I started as well. I started with an idea, and then it kept on getting pushed on, thinking that I'll do. And then one day I just picked up the phone, just started my first step by calling here and there, are there any spaces available, or I can do something, and then came up with the business plan, and then that just was the start, and then that just kept me rolling and rolling, and then it came the day when I first opened this restaurant, and then I thought to myself, yeah, I'm there now. I would say it's scary, but I think if you don't start it, I don't. The important thing is you need to get started. So we're located in 119 Chapel Street, Windsor, and we are a modern Nepalese restaurant. So we do Nepalese food with a bit of a twist, modern twist to it. So you get all the Nepalese flavor, but a bit more elevated in terms of the produce that we use, the seasonal produce. And like I said, we like to use a lot of Australian ingredients within our cooking. So within our menu, we've got a few stuff that you need to try, or you've already tried it as well. So probably I would say even the masala shrimp or the fried bread. So that's actually loved by everyone in our restaurant. And if it's the first time trying Nepali food, definitely try the pork momos that we have. And of course, like we've got the bara, that's black lentil pancake, which is a bit of traditional versus modern dish that I have it on the menu. So that's of course served with a 63-degree egg and chicken jus. So that's something very close to my roots, but still it's modern. I've got a modern take, modern approach to how I present the dish. And I've got like signature curries like pork belly curry or slow cooked goat, which is always my favorite and everyone's favorite here. And probably I think everyone would love it, and especially come down for some desserts or take on modern desserts such as chia brulee, which is the most popular desserts. And then I do have customers coming back for it only for the desserts. So that's our take on the classic brulee, but we make it by brewing tea, masala chia, we call it, instead, and then setting up as a brulee. So you do get a texture of tea and ginger. We serve with the ginger tuile, so that mimics a biscuit. So the whole concept is tea and biscuit idea.